It's been a little while since we had a truly jam-packed stack of news to get through regarding the world's richest and most annoying man. But yup, it's Elon time.
Oh, wow. It's been so long that I actually am looking forward to talking shit about this guy.
No, you're not.
Oh.
And no, I did not misspeak when I called Elon Musk the world's richest man, because folks, after months of begging his fans to just go and do it, Tesla shareholders did. They voted last Thursday, to reinstate Elon's pay package. You know, the one that the Delaware Court of Chancery last year took away from him, mostly due to matters of procedure, less to do with the fact that it's the biggest executive compensation package in U.S. corporate history. Mm-hmm. Tesla shareholders voted overwhelmingly to give this man his money, in spite of the fact that Tesla stock in recent years has been in pretty sharp decline, and the company's value has been cut nearly in half since its peak in 2021. And things are just really not looking like they're going to improve all that much in the near or distant future.
It did spike a little bit after this was announced, and then just has proceeded to fall off. So there you go.
Anyway, here's the New York Times.
Tesla shareholders decisively backed a proposal to affirm Elon Musk's multi-billion-dollar pay package, according to details of the vote released on Friday. The vote of confidence in Mr. Musk reduces the risk that he would leave Tesla, but may also validate behavior that some investors say has hurt the car maker, analysts and investors say. Passage of the proposal was announced at Tesla's annual shareholder meeting on Thursday, without the underlying total. In the end, about 72% of voting shares, excluding stock owned by Mr. Musk and his brother Kimball, backed the pay package. For months, many Tesla investors have worried about how engaged Elon Musk would be in running the electric car company after a judge in Delaware voided his pay package, originally approved in 2018. The compensation plan requires Mr. Musk to hold on to the shares for at least 5 years before selling them, and the value of the package will continue to fluctuate before he can do so. At Friday's closing price, the shares were worth about $47 billion.
I love the move of being like, I don't know, I might leave Tesla. No.
Don't scare me with a good time.
He would never.
Yeah.
He would never leave Tesla.
Yeah. Also, some might argue it would help the company.
Oh, no, it absolutely 100% would.
What do you mean they have a new car coming out that's not a Cybertruck?
I mean, you see this a lot in the startup world, but you have the startup CEO, and then you have the real CEO who comes in later, cleans up the act, and puts the company on the right track. Elon is the startup CEO in like his 20th year at this point. And I think they would absolutely benefit from a real CEO at this point. But it'll never happen. Anyways, this doesn't instantly undo the whole Delaware ruling. It just gives Elon some evidence that he can point to say that clearly the shareholders want him to have all of that money. The court still has to evaluate that and decide if they're going to change their ruling, which has the potential to be very funny. But nothing cool ever actually happens, so he'll probably get the money. Also, the pay package wasn't the only thing that was up for a vote. Shareholders also approved a proposal to move Tesla's corporate registration to Texas, a reaction to what Mr. Musk and the board perceived as unfair treatment by Delaware courts. The move will have no effect on the Delaware case. They rejected a measure proposed by shareholders that called for Tesla not to interfere with workers trying to organize a union and to bargain in good faith if they do. No. Mr. Musk has often expressed hostility towards organized labor. In Sweden, Tesla has refused to negotiate with mechanics who work for the company and have been on strike for nearly 6 months. I didn't realize that was still going. But I love just like, let's vote on whether we're ever going to treat workers trying to unionize respectfully. No. As company policy, we will bust.
In fact,
because busting makes me feel good.
Things are probably going to get a lot worse now that the company is centered in Texas.
Yeah.
Now, it's easy to point to Tesla shareholders and say that clearly all these people are members of a cult whose leader isn't even that charismatic. But an interesting aspect of this vote is that there's a decent chance you may have unwittingly voted to give Elon Musk his pay raise.
How could you?
I'm just so disappointed.
I'm so betrayed.
As 404 Media points out, on Friday, if you have any investments whatsoever, you very well may have voted to give Elon Musk a gigantic $56 billion pay package as the CEO of Tesla. You probably did this without even knowing it. This happened because of the incredible rise of passive investing, or index fund investing, which has become one of the most popular ways of investing money in the stock market. If you are privileged enough to have a 401k, an IRA, or any sort of investment account, it is likely that the investments inside it are held in exchange-traded funds, ETFs, index funds, or mutual funds that buy shares of a large swath of the stock market.
When people buy passive investment vehicles, they are giving their money to Vanguard, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, or another investment giant, which then buys shares in a big swath of companies. Many of the most popular funds contain lots of Tesla stock because Tesla is one of the largest companies in the world. Tesla stock makes up 1.11% of VOO, a Vanguard ETF that mirrors the S&P 500. It is the 13th largest holding in that fund. VTI, Vanguard's total stock market ETF, contains 3,663 companies. Tesla is the 13th largest holding in VTI, also making up 0.95% of the entire fund. Tesla also makes up a significant portion of various retirement target date funds and similar products across different investment firms.
So yeah, even if you don't own any shares of Tesla, if you're invested in ETFs or index funds, there's a good chance that you do own some Tesla, but minus the ability to actually vote. And yeah. My leftover Warner Brothers retirement plan that is just sitting there probably has some of this in it.
Probably.
Yeah.
And also just like a ton of pension funds. Although it sounds like most of the no votes came specifically from pension funds.
Good. Now instead, whoever runs those funds they do all that on your behalf. And in the case of Vanguard, who owns 7% of the company, second only to Musk himself, they voted yes on the pay package after initially saying they'd vote no. It's not like that 7% would have swung the vote, but hey, very cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Vanguard.
Yeah. Anyways, Tesla's big vote occurred right before Tesla's big annual shareholder meeting, which kicked off with some real weapons-grade cringe from the cringeler himself. Here you go. But in case you're wondering, what the fuck is that weirdo doing now? Allow this verified Musk disciple to explain. He's doing an X with his body, you stuck-up, self-righteous dumbass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very cool.
That's what he was doing. He was doing an X with his body. Even
explains,
at a Tesla event, an event for a different company.
Well, yeah, it's the only legal way he can do it.
I guess so.
Yeah, maybe. That moment, of course, instantly became meme fodder, with some of the most popular edits strapping Elon to various torture devices.
Yeah, putting him on the big wheel where you throw the knives at it.
Putting Elon in the contraption.
He got put in a lot of contraptions. It's great meme fodder.
It is.
But back to that shareholder meeting. So now that Elon's shareholders have pledged total submission to him, he of course could not pass up a perfect opportunity to do what he does best. Make some ridiculous promises, specifically about that Tesla robot. Here's Gizmodo. It's, your companion. It can be at your house. It can sort of babysit your kids. It could teach them, be a teacher. It can do factory stuff, Musk said while describing the robot on Thursday. Musk went on to say Optimus would be like having your own personal robot from the Star Wars franchise. Like, who doesn't want a C-3PO, but a C-3PO plus R2-D2 plus, plus. It would be pretty awesome. I think everyone in the world is going to want one. Like, literally everyone.
God,
Musk continued.
Shut the fuck up. Any dream you have, it'll make it come true. Yes, trust this machine with your children. Not only will it not crush their little baby skulls, it'll teach them things they wouldn't believe.
Yeah. Homeschooling just got so much easier. Now you got time for you.
This is so.
Let the robot do the rest. Fucking hell.
Everything else aside, this is just a bleak dystopian thing because he wants people to work while the robot raises their kids.
Yeah.
We got a big problem with childcare in this country, and I'm about to solve it.
Also, now you can have more babies, more white babies, and you don't have to worry about all of the, the time and money that's going to go into watching those kids while you work. The robot will do the watching, and you do the baby growing.
I wouldn't put it past Elon Musk to turn this robot into whatever specific minority you want it to be so that you can bully it around.
This robot will do whatever you ask it to do, even if you say the N-word.
It's going to save humanity, that's why. Anyways, they also list out various other promises that Elon made about his robot. I think we've got kind of like one major hardware revision, which should be done by end of this year or early next. And then we'll move into a limited production next year of Optimus. limited production for use in our factories. My prediction is next year we'll have over 1,000, maybe a few thousand Optimus robots working at Tesla. The degree of autonomy will be radically better. You'll just literally be able to talk to it and say, please do this task, or I'm going to show you something. Now do that thing that I'm showing you. Optimus will get to the point where it can watch a video of something like a person, and then learn just by looking at that video and do the task. I'm confident of the prediction that there will be more, like the ratio of humanoid robots to humans will be greater than 1 to 1. So there'll be, more than 10 billion humanoid robots in the world. Probably 20 or more.
Oh.
And Tesla is going to be by far the leader in that. It will also be able to play the piano. So it's really like, wow. I don't feel good about this at all, even though it's complete bullshit.
Yeah, no, there's not going to be 20 billion fucking robots. Are you insane?
All I can picture is like him stirring up this false confidence in a Tesla investor who I can only picture drooling from the mouth and hitting themselves over the head with a hammer going, 20 billion robots times thousands of dollars equals I'm going to be rich forever.
Yeah. Those people can't be helped, though.
And those people vote.
It's hopeless for them. They vote and they vote.
They vote for Elon Musk's pay package, and they're going to vote for everything in every election, including all the down ballot stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what we're dealing with here. Clonk.
He also at one point claimed that the Optimus robot will raise Tesla's market cap to $25 trillion.
That's what I'm saying.
He literally said that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just for context, Apple's current market cap is less than $4 trillion. So this is 6 times what Apple's market cap is after 40-something years of being in operation. Tesla is going to be the biggest company the world has ever seen.
Elliot, I'm sorry, but you're not doing the math here, because if you take Elon at his word, which everyone always does and never looks any further, 20 billion of these robots times however much he's going to charge for them, which, by the way, he can charge whatever he wants because you're going to need one of these robots.
Yeah, I don't care how poor you are, you're buying a damn robot.
Yeah, so 20 billion of these? You want to get rich? You better start buying this stock now, baby. Clonk, clonk.
You're going to want to buy the stock.
It's so dumb.
The only regret you're going to have is that you didn't buy more of it.
The thing is, you're going to need one because when he flips the switch and all these robots start fighting each other, you're not going to be the only family on the block without a self-defense robot.
That's right.
Because then the other robots will come in and take everything you own.
Mm-hmm.
But while Elon would have you believe that robots that you can trust to operate a stove and babysit your children are right around the corner.
Any day now.
Back here in reality, we've got news like this from the LA Times. A Tesla driver using the vehicle's self-driving mode crashed into a police car Thursday morning in Fullerton, almost hitting an officer who was investigating another crash, according to authorities. A Fullerton Police Department officer was investigating a fatal crash around 12:04 a.m. near Orangethorpe and Courtney Avenues, according to a department news release. The officer was managing traffic at the time, and emergency flares had been placed on the road. The officer was standing outside his patrol vehicle with its emergency lights on and managed to jump out of the way before the driver of a blue Tesla crashed into his car, authorities said. A police dispatcher who was riding in the patrol vehicle also moved out of the way of the crash. The Tesla driver admitted he was operating the vehicle in self-driving mode while using his cell phone, police said. He stayed at the scene and cooperated with the investigation.
So yeah, you just take that technology and put it in a humanoid robot with arms and legs and fingers and toes, and you say, hey, watch my kids while me and the wife go have date night.
Yep.
And there's food in the cupboard. Just fire up that stove and get cooking if the kid gets hungry.
Yeah.
And maybe play some of that piano music you got. A couple Scott Joplin bangers.
Mr. Elliot! Mr. Elliot! Sean has been crying.
Why is that the voice?
I'm just doing Mr. Handy from Fallout.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's there's video of this self-driving. It's full speed. Just the car does not know any context clues about hey, there's a police car with its fucking sirens with flares in the road. Boom.
Based on this happening a couple times, the Tesla autopilot seems drawn to emergency vehicles like a moth to flame.
Yeah.
This happens frequently because it sees those and I think it gets confused. It's like when you take a picture of the robots in the Simpsons episode, they go haywire.
Yeah. So imagine you've got a robot at home and
Yeah.
you call, like, I don't know, 911. You call an ambulance.
Yeah.
The ambulance driver comes up and the robot just punches the ambulance driver in the face.
Yeah.
Those sirens, they set me off. They get me feeling real aggressive.
They're like dogs in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts hooping and hollering. Ah!
Yeah. Be sure to lock your Tesla robot in the closet all 4th of July. It is
Yeah.
going to get upset.
Man, if you didn't upgrade to get the Thunder Vest on your, on your Tesla robot, you're in for a world of hurt.
Oh, no.
This thing can go haywire and its arms just start spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to want to put it in the device. But it wouldn't be Elon news without several different lawsuits.
They're what gets him off.
There's possibly no other person, living or dead, who has been named in as much litigation as Elon Musk. And this week we got 3 lawsuits to get through, starting with one that's a bit ironic considering the timing. But right before those Tesla shareholders voted to give Elon tens of billions of dollars, other Tesla shareholders were filing a lawsuit against Elon. Here's Business Insider. Some Tesla shareholders allege Elon Musk has been draining the company's AI talent dry in an act of brazen disloyalty to his company. The group of shareholders, the Cleveland Bakers and Teamsters Pension Fund, Michael Giampetro, and Daniel Hazen, filed a lawsuit Thursday on behalf of Tesla itself against Musk and Tesla in Delaware, where the company is incorporated. In it, the shareholders accused Musk of diverting critical AI talent and resources away from Tesla and into his new AI-focused company, xAI. They also allege that Tesla's board hasn't tried to stop him.
The plaintiffs allege in the suit that Musk has recently touted Tesla as more of an artificial intelligence company than simply an electric car maker. He has, for example, repeatedly said that building out AI capabilities is essential to Tesla's growth and success, doubling down on this commitment both to investors and in Securities and Exchange Commission's filings, the lawsuit says. During Tesla's quarterly earnings report in April, the company gave investors a sneak peek at its plans for a robo-taxi fleet, sending the stock soaring despite posting weak financial data. But the plaintiffs say that ever since he founded xAI in 2023, Musk has poached AI-focused employees from Tesla and into his startup. At one point, in response to a suggestion that a major AI researcher should work for Tesla, Musk publicly commented that he should join xAI instead, the lawsuit says. It's not just AI talent that Musk is accused of pilfering from Tesla. The shareholders also allege that Musk has redirected critical NVIDIA graphics processing units from Tesla to xAI, despite previously saying that the car company would gobble up the hardware as fast as NVIDIA could deliver it. And yeah, we covered that in the past couple of weeks.
Remember that story from a few weeks back and how we wondered about what Tesla's shareholders would think about the head of Tesla diverting scarce AI hardware to a totally separate company? Well, there's your answer. Some of those shareholders apparently have brains, and they're not too happy about that.
Yeah.
But in other Elon lawsuits, it gets a bit darker. Here's one about sexual harassment and retaliation at SpaceX via Bloomberg. Musk knowingly and purposefully created an unwelcome hostile work environment based upon his conduct of interjecting into the workplace vile sexual photographs, memes, and commentary that demeaned women and/or the LGBTQ plus community. The 8 former employees, who have also been pursuing a U.S. Labor Board case against the company, said in their Wednesday filing. The plaintiffs are alleging that some of them then experienced harassing comments from other coworkers that mimicked Musk's posts from Twitter and created a wildly uncomfortable, hostile work environment.
I, for one, am shocked that he would act internally the way he acts externally.
Yeah, no, it's like, it's Michael Scott. He's Michael Scott in so many ways, and one of Michael Scott's key traits was inserting unnecessary sexual innuendo into conversations completely at random. That's what she said.
It continues. After Musk publicly mocked misconduct allegations against him, the workers collaborated on an open letter in 2022 raising concerns about his behavior and the company's culture and alleged they were fired in retaliation. Their filing says that they have reason to believe Musk personally made the decision to terminate them in retaliation for that activism. When a human resources official suggested conducting an investigation first, Musk replied, "I don't care. Fire them," the complaint alleges. The lawsuit also alleges that SpaceX executives, including Musk and Shotwell, participated in a video, quote, that mocks and makes light of sexual misconduct and banter, including a scene in which an employee demonstrated the correct way to spank a coworker. So, yikes. But, yeah, it's not shocking because this is how he acts all day on Twitter.
Yeah, also, again, startup. every fucking startup, especially the ones from like the period when he took over Tesla, had a very like boys club, toxic, inappropriate work culture.
Yes.
And you used to be able to get away with that. It's a lot easier to get away with that at a smaller company. But sir, you have like hundreds of thousands of employees now.
And government contracts and a company that takes things into space. It's it's very odd. But you just look at, I know this is from not this year or whatever, but you look at just his posts, and if his posts were just on a scrolling feed at any company, it would be a nonstop HR violation printing machine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the next lawsuit, somehow, he's topped himself.
Wow.
It gets even worse.
I can't believe it.
Here's Quartz.
A former employee of Elon Musk's controversial brain implant company Neuralink alleged in a new lawsuit that she was scratched by a monkey infected with herpes on the job and was later fired for being pregnant. Lindsay Short sued the company in a California state court on Friday, claiming she was subject to a hostile, unsafe, and discriminatory work environment, Bloomberg reports. She is suing for wrongful termination, gender discrimination, and retaliation, among other charges. Short alleged in the suit that Neuralink's Fremont, California worksite was fraught with blame, shame, and impossible deadlines. Neuralink, a brain implant startup founded by Musk, has been in clinical trials for its chips and has done extensive testing on monkeys. But Short claimed the company, which did not immediately return a request for comment Monday morning, did not provide her with proper protective gear while working with the monkeys.
Short alleged a monkey carrying the herpes B virus scratched through her glove, Bloomberg reports. She also said a monkey once scratched her face. Worse, Short alleged she was admonished for seeking medical treatment for the incidents and was told there would be severe repercussions if another incident occurred. Short was fired in 2023 for performance issues, but claims her termination was retaliation and said it came the day after she told Human Resources she was pregnant. She also said the company promised to provide her with flexible work hours, but didn't. Okay, so yeah, the unsafe working conditions are no surprise at this point.
Yeah, sounds about right.
But we would have at least hoped that the guy who's constantly telling every woman to get pregnant wouldn't summarily fire his employees the moment they reveal that they are pregnant.
Yeah. Well, I guess it kind of checks out because you should be pregnant at all times, but also get that shit out of my office. Well, she's pregnant? That's worse than when she's on her period.
He was probably upset that it wasn't his child.
That's true.
Based on a track record.
That's one less womb for him.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Is it mine? No, why would it be yours? Ugh, I don't know. I offer to impregnate a lot of women. So it's not mine. Get out of here. So yeah, sounds like a great place to work.
Yeah.
Neuralink in particular sounds like just the most hellish of all of Musk's companies. I mean, because you're just killing monkeys regularly. You're dealing with monkeys with no PPE. You're getting scratched by them.
This goes back to like, I don't even know how long it's been at this point. Years, where during one of like the first bigger Neuralink public things, he's on stage making all these promises, and the people who are actually doing the work are on the side like, Yeah,
the Neuralink one's, that's just, another example. Like, they did put a chip in some dude's brain, and it does seem to work pretty okay. But, like, he was making crazy promises, like 6-7 years ago, about where this would be. And, he's like he's at 1% towards any of those goals. At this point, he's pretty much just done what every brain-computer interface company has done already.
Well, you know, Elliot, the real problem that this innovation has stalled is because of Joe Biden's presidency.
Yeah.
Clearly, if a Republican was in charge, he would have finished all of this by 2022.
Trump will give each of us a brain-computer interface.
Mm-hmm. And a robot to do all the chores.
Yeah, and you can just think what you want your robot to do for you. It'll do it. And that includes sexual things.
Yeah.
Robot's got a big old mouth.
Yep.
A big old sucking mouth. It's like a fleshlight in there.
Yep.
They don't tell you that, but there's special code. It's like how the car farts. The robot will suck your dick. Mm-hmm. You just got to know how to ask.
Until the damn government regulators get involved and shut it down.
Those California regulators, California stops the robot from sucking people off.
These Tesla robots have killed hundreds in sexual accidents. We should do something about it.
Yeah.
No.
Elon, how can you say that you want everyone to have more children when so far thousands of men's penises have been violently ripped off their bodies by the robot you gave them all?
Mm-hmm. He's doing that so that he's the only one left to impregnate people.
Now that this man has no dick and balls left, I guess I will volunteer
That's
to
the plan.
contribute my semen.
That's the plan. He's getting all these robots so that they rip all of our dicks off.
Yeah.
That way he can be the only man.
It's all part of the plan.
We've cracked the case, everyone.
Yeah.
This is a real news show.
Yep. We got to the bottom of it. But that's enough about Elon for today. He's not the only one getting sued. We got more for you. This week, the U.S. Department of Justice filed a lawsuit that to most people probably won't mean much. But for visual artists, graphic designers, photographers, animators, VFX artists, audio engineers, and even just folks that need to create the occasional PDF, this was huge news.
Yeah.
The U.S. government is finally going after Adobe.
Oh.
Now, many of Adobe's large suite of products have for years been industry standards in their respective fields, and for good reason. But with market dominance, Adobe got very greedy, and they were among the first to pioneer a sales model that has by now, unfortunately, also become an industry standard: the subscription model.
You see, back in the old days, you used to go down to Best Buy and purchase Adobe Photoshop CS6 or whatever. And the next year, when they released CS7, you could just buy the upgrade or not.
Yeah, maybe CS6 worked just fine for your needs.
Or, let's be honest, you would pirate the software, you would then get good at it, and then get hired at a job where the company would then pay for a legit licensed copy.
Yeah.
It's how I would say a majority of creatives got into the fields they're into.
I don't think it's ever been confirmed, but this was widely believed to be a intentional part of their business model.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Back in the day.
Well, they used to do
because they knew that your average person wasn't willing to pay $700 for Photoshop.
Yeah.
But
companies would buy multiple
if that's
copies.
what every teenager learned photo manipulation on, the companies that hired them would have to buy that software legitimately.
Yeah. But back around 2011, Adobe switched to a monthly subscription model, and there was definitely some appeal to this. And you would avoid the large upfront cost of purchasing the software, and then you'd always have the most up-to-date version. And hey, if you just need the software for a short stint for a project, you can always cancel.
Yeah, just cancel.
Except no. Adobe is notorious for making it bizarrely difficult to cancel subscriptions. You signed up with just a few clicks, but getting out is a different story.
Oh, no, buddy. Are you sure you want to leave?
Here's Ars Technica.
Adobe prioritized profits while spending years ignoring numerous complaints from users struggling to cancel costly subscriptions without incurring hefty hidden fees, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, FTC, alleged in a lawsuit Monday. According to the FTC, Adobe knew that canceling subscriptions was hard, but determined that it would hurt revenue to make canceling any easier. So Adobe never changed the convoluted process. Even when the FTC launched a probe in 2022, specifically indicating that Adobe's practices may be illegal, Adobe did nothing to address the alleged harm to consumers, the FTC complaint noted. Adobe also provides no refunds or only partial refunds to some subscribers who incur charges after an attempted unsuccessful cancellation. Adobe repeatedly decided against rectifying some of Adobe's unlawful practices because of the revenue implications, the FTC alleged, asking a jury to permanently block Adobe from continuing these seemingly deceptive practices.
And here they get into more specifics about how Adobe's scam works. To lock subscribers into recurring monthly payments, Adobe would typically pre-select by default its most popular annual paid monthly plan, the FTC alleged. That subscription option locked users into an annual plan despite paying month to month. If they canceled after a 2-week period, they'd owe Adobe an early termination fee, ETF, that costs 50% of their remaining annual subscription. The material terms of this fee are hidden during enrollment, the FTC claimed, only appearing in disclosures that are designed to go unnoticed and that most consumers never see. For individual users, accessing Adobe's suite of apps can cost more than $700 annually, Bloomberg reported. For many users suddenly faced with paying an ETF worth hundreds while losing access to services instantly, the decision to cancel is not as straightforward as it might be without the hidden fee, the FTC alleged. Because Adobe allegedly only alerted users to the ETF in fine print by hovering over a small icon or clicking a hyperlink in small text, while the company's cancellation flows made it hard to end recurring payments, the FTC is suing and accusing Adobe of deceptive practices under the FTC Act. Additionally, Adobe's stealth ETF may violate the Restore Online Shoppers Confidence Act, ROSCA, the FTC alleged.
Oh, buddy, that's a ROSCA violation.
Yeah.
And yeah, on top of that, the cancellation process itself involves actually getting on the phone and talking to customer service, which of course means sitting on hold for long periods of time. And then calls that mysteriously drop or cut out once the actual human is supposedly ready to help you cancel your plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if you do manage to cancel your plan over the phone, in a lot of cases, no, you actually didn't. Adobe just keeps on billing you month after month.
What are you going to do?
I guess you better get back on the phone or just accept it.
Yeah.
And this has been the situation for several years. It is no secret. There is so much testimony about this across the internet. So yeah, the DOJ case, it is long overdue. Kind of annoying that it took this long, but at least it's finally happening. I mean, it's hard to imagine they'll end up paying more than a tiny, tiny fraction of the massive profits that they've seen in recent years, thanks in part to these practices.
Yeah.
It's going to be a slap on the wrist.
Also, they just got a lot of heat lately because they changed their privacy policy and their terms and conditions. And,
they tried, yeah.
And they switched back because everyone was like very vocal about that.
They made their TOS vaguely threatening because, yeah, people are like, wait. Because, yeah, they
even professional projects are like,
they're shoving all these AI tools on there, which are cloud-based, and Adobe used language in their TOS that implied that Adobe has access to all of your projects and like kind of owns them and might be using them to train AI.
Well, yeah, and just like a professional liability sense, working on a project like that and just having an entire company, you know, theoretically,
like if
able to look at things.
If you're working on like promotional materials for like fucking Star Wars or something, like stuff that is locked behind several NDAs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not nice that some random company out in Silicon Valley could potentially be just looking over your shoulder virtually.
Yeah. And look, there's a billion sides to the politics that are happening right now, but like, it's very noticeable that so many of these big companies are getting investigations filed against them. Something that almost certainly will not happen in a Trump presidency. And all of these companies are aware of that.
I mean, I wish all of the FTC, FCC, DOJ stuff, I wish it was a lot more aggressive. But it has been unusually on the side of consumers.
And just keep in mind that these companies do not want that digging into their finances and their practices. So they have a lot of reasons to...
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, Photoshop, for actual like photo editing, it's still the one.
Mm-hmm.
But like artists people who like digitally paint and draw, they've all fucking moved on. There's way better products out there now.
Yeah. It's
that are like one-time fees of like a reasonable price. But
a lot of the stuff that used to be able to only use Photoshop for has been automated.
Yeah.
It's like there's apps that'll do a lot of the stuff. It's like I love it. I love because our thumbnails are essentially just digital collage art.
Yeah. I feel like Photoshop's like the big one. Premiere is really not an industry standard.
It's
I feel like it's mostly Avid and Final Cut.
Yeah.
People are using Premiere, but it's a crowded field. Weirdly, I'd be curious to see how much of their revenue just comes from fucking Acrobat Pro.
Probably
which
a lot,
it's like how many
licenses?
fucking businesses own a license to that? Because that is like $45 a month per license.
Yeah.
To make a PDF.
And then After Effects, I'm sure does okay.
Yeah, After Effects is still pretty like there's not really anything else that does all of that in one place.
I do get frustrated. I turn it off, but it turns itself back on. Is the anytime I use Adobe stock, it is. You will get like it seems like 80% is AI generated.
Yeah.
They
ruined it. It used to be fairly useful.
You can turn it off, but it's in the menus and it doesn't seem to stick, even though I'm logged in. They want to keep giving
Please take our AI photos.
Yeah, because they don't really have to pay people for that.
Yeah, the other ones we have to pay human beings who took those photos or created them. These AI ones, that's all for us.
Mm-hmm. But speaking of companies getting a slap on the wrist for systemic illegal activity that everybody knows about, the state of California is finally going after Amazon for labor violations that have been documented extensively for several years. Here's 404 Media. The California Labor Commissioner cited Amazon nearly $6 million for failing to provide warehouse workers with written quotas that they were required to meet, the commissioner's office announced Tuesday. The citations allege that Amazon violated the warehouse quotas law a total of 59,017 times at 2 distribution warehouses in Southern California, 46,697 times at ONT 8, and 12,320 times at ONT 9. Amazon has been cited $100 per violation for a total fine of $5,901,700.
Wow. It's almost like it's more profitable to violate the law than follow the law.
Yes.
Continues. Amazon has previously faced backlash for obscure performance quotas that drivers and warehouse workers have described as impossible to meet. Many delivery drivers have resorted to peeing in bottles because they do not have time to use the bathroom on the job. One group of drivers in Colorado has sued the company over this issue. These impossible quotas are so pervasive that they have even become a Reddit meme. Many of these same problems extend into Amazon fulfillment centers as well. Amazon management really makes people stress about rate, said Carrie Stone, who works at one of the cited warehouses, in a statement to the Warehouse Workers Resource Center. If you don't scan enough items, you will get written up. This happened to me. I got written up for not making rate. They said I missed by 1 point, but I didn't even know what the target was.
As we've covered over the years, these insane quotas have literally killed people. They're demanding their workers work at an unhealthy and unsustainable pace, and in a lot of cases, the workers don't even know exactly what the quota is. Just that if they don't meet it, they're going to get in trouble. So keep pissing in that bottle. And this is all done in the pursuit of maximum profitability for the company and its shareholders, and Amazon is very profitable. This $6 million fine for over 59,000 labor violations, not even a drop in the bucket. But it's almost impossible to visualize how small that drop is and how big that bucket is. Amazon's latest annual gross profits were over $281 billion, which translates to around $770 million in gross profit per day. It takes Amazon 11 minutes to generate $6 million in profits.
Yeah, they really got him.
That'll teach them. Don't do it again.
Yeah, it's like, if they're going to go after these companies, like, why is it so hard to make it hurt even the tiniest bit for them? This is a mosquito that landed on Jeff Bezos' big arm. And he just, okay, well, anyway.
Yeah.
Back to abusing my workers.
Oh, that's all? You've just emboldened me to do it further.
But yeah, just all case, I feel like every case we covered today is just companies treating their workers like shit so they can squeeze more profits out of them, and then being held just barely accountable at all.
I mean, I would hope
and continuing to reap those profits.
At the very least, I would hope that the Adobe thing sparks a change in the ability for consumers to accurately navigate their subscription cancellation process.
Like, for starters, like, if you can sign up for something online,
it should be just as easy to...
It should be just as easy, the same amount of clicks to unsubscribe.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for this episode of Tech News Day. We, of course, have more episodes coming up soon for you. Be sure to like the video.
Come on.
Leave a comment. Subscribe. Click the join button if you want.
Let's get talking down there.
Yeah, get the conversation going down there. Do you think that companies are going to change because of these lawsuits? Anyways, we do have some other videos for you to watch, including just a fun time we had discussing the latest epidemic, brain rot.
Yeah, on God, facts, skibbity.
And of course, we have a very important episode about quicksand and how it may actually start affecting people.
Watch your feet.
Check out both of those. Leave a like, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.